singing for myself right now.
That's where the veranda used to be, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. I knew my granny had 12 children, but I never counted them up, and I never knew nothing about Uncle Kingsley. That's why it seems so strange. My dad's got this brother that's come out of nowhere, you know what I mean?
And what's your name?
Idea.
Look, you better write all the names down on a piece of something for me, okay? Really, everybody's name, first name, and your date of birth, okay? Write it on here so I'll really know, okay? Yeah. Oh my God Almighty! Come here, boy. Let me see you.
How you doing?
Boy, I don't know Bobby.
You don't know me?
No, isn't that something? How you doing?
All right.
God Almighty, let me hold you tight, boy. Look at you. Look at you. Isn't that something? I knew you were born like I realize now. You were born after, while I was still here, you know, but I just blanked out a lot of things, you know.
One thing my brother did tell me, he said if you were a Tweed, you suffered. He told me that for sure.
And this is why the family never spoke his name.
I never heard nothing about Uncle Kingsley. And then Bonnie and Kelly, they went to England. My Aunt Barbara, my Aunt Mia gave them his address and phone number, but they never called him because they felt that they'll get in trouble or something. So they never called or nothing.
Family's too beautiful. I discovered I've got the most beautiful family in the world. I never knew that I had all of these nephews and nieces and grandnieces. It's like about 4,000 or 5,000 of us. They used to have a little shop either there, or it used to be up here.
I'll show you where I went to school. Right here in this building.
And me.
Have I come up the right hill?
Yeah, you're going on Devonshire Church, aren't you? Yeah, well, this is take you. It should take you right over to where the post office used to be. See? Haven't forgotten. Turn around. You're driving all over. You don't have a license. That's your problem. Go up and then back, okay, into there. Crazy people. Tweeds. It's you who don't know where you are.
Shut up, eh?
You made the right turn. We had to come down here, you see? Yeah. You got to go down here, this little road here. You can't get lost.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to go down further, go around the other road.
No, Jubilee Road takes you around by Elliott School.
Remember this road?
Of course I remember. John Cox has asked the land he stole now. You Tweeds are so damn bullheaded. Nobody can't tell you nothing. You think you know every friggin' thing.
Shut your blunking face, man. Shut up your mouth.
And park your car anywhere around here, man. Lump by the yellow lines, too. Don't go any further. Park it right here by the tree. God, you're hard-headed. Barbara, bring it back a little bit and park it by the tree. Before you cuss me and tell me I don't know what I'm saying. Oh, God, this is an awful feeling. You sure we're in the right place now? Finally got here, Jack boy. They tell me you've been a bad boy while I was away. Oh, my. Brushing little cedar berries off your grave now. You remember we used to go and hunt them cedar berries up there? Yeah, they got you right under the cedar berry tree. You can eat until your belly bust. Oh, me. Going over and see Mama and Daddy and George and Kunk, Aunt Sophie, yeah, James and Humphrey and Sam. And after that, I don't think I want to go to any more graveyards in my life. Not even when I'm dead, I don't want to put me in the graveyard. Okay? Because this has been both a good experience, a loving experience, but it's also been very troublesome for me. And what was especially troublesome for me is that I wasn't here, you know? When you were facing your own mortal end, so to speak. Okay, I think I've had enough of this now. I'll come back and see you perhaps before I leave, huh? If not, I'll get that mad by Jimmy, that son of yours, and Troy to check on you. Okay? See you later. Hope your Aunt Barbara's got the right space. If not, I'll have to come down and take these flowers on the other side, because a lot of cedar trees down there. I don't know. Could it be just like your Aunt Barbara to have me put these expensive flowers on the wrong hole? So I'm saying. Oh, me. Can I walk and hold your hand a little bit? He's been laying over there a long time, but it doesn't seem like that to me. You understand? It doesn't seem like that to me. Okay, Jack boy. All right, hey, how you doing? Hi. Hey, how you doing?
Good.
All right, not too bad, pal.
Good to
Okay.
you. It's so funny that I just saw Voices Rise.
Yeah.
And then I see your face in the paper.
Look out, look out,
Coming
look
back.
out, look out, look out, look like. I'm here, but I don't know for how long.
For real?
Yeah, well, might be, you know.
Where were you all this time?
I've been over in England and around other places, like, you know.
They call it exile.
All right. All right.
Growing up, I always wanted to know who my father was. Even though I didn't know him, I liked what he stood for. And I always saw him, from reading the articles, I could tell that he had revolutionary ideas and thoughts. And my mother always told me I was just like him with my ways of thinking and things that I did. So I always felt as though he was a hero, even though I didn't know him. From the age of 14, I started looking for him. When I got a little older, I ended up going through a search agency. Before that, I tried just calling directory assistants, speaking with telephone operators, calling information, trying to just find him by name. When I spoke with the lady at the search agency, she told me if I could get a social security number or something of that nature, it might help with my search. However, I wasn't able to obtain that social security number, so I just sort of gave up for a while.
Hey, how you doing?
Now it is my special privilege to welcome home a Bermudian legend who has returned home after more than 40 years in the wilderness of exile. Bermuda has given birth to no living son more heroic, more illustrious than Kingsley Tweed. A man whose facility with words, whose elocution and turn of phrase have helped him to earn a living as he turned these skills to God's work.
Look out.
Through the film, When Voices Rise, we have become aware of the regrettable reasons that caused Kingsley Tweed to flee Bermuda. But even more regrettable are the reasons that kept him in exile, fearful of returning to his homeland. If affirmation that a new Bermuda came into being in 1998 is needed, this patriot's return provides it. It is fitting that he is here with us in Bermuda on the eve of this first general election of one man, one vote. The first general election in a new century and in the new millennium. Reverend Dr. Tweed, thank you for what you have done for Bermuda.
My pleasure.
Thank you for gracing Alaska Hall with your presence.
All right.
And thank you for being with us at this very special and historic time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't want to kiss nobody else.
I'm just curious to know whether you're overwhelmed at this stage, or whether you've been able to absorb enough to give an answer to the question of biggest differences so far since you've been away.
Oh, there are no differences really.
No differences.
No, the sea is still in the same place. Dock Hill is still Dock Hill. You know, I can tell you that my family are as they've always been. Delightful and a joy to be with, you know. I am one piece of goddamn diplomat, you know. Boy, I'm telling you.
I know that.
I'm going in for some new friggin' skills, son. You know what I'm saying? No, you're not. No, I'm not new leather. You tell that to somebody else. I've lived there for 45 years, and the way you have treated black people in Great Britain as this country Reminds me of bloody South Africa. Now, you go back and tell Tony Blair, that is my message to Tony Blair. Now, if you shut up, and you're not a socialist if you're a new member of the Labour Party. No, you're a damn fool. That's what you are. A little funny Scotsman like you. Okay. How you doing?
I'm from the Sun.
Oh, I see. How are you?
Fine.
Okay.
I was going to try and hook you for an interview, but I...
Okay. Well, we're going to have some time. We're going to have
Before
some
the
time.
election?
No, don't push me. We're going to have some time. Now, we're going to have some
I'll
time.
call Barbara anyway.
We'll have some time to chat.
Okay.
You can get a better interview from the Scotsman up there. Ask them about how they're teaming up against the black indigenous population of Britain. I've got a good story for you, too. Oh, I wouldn't do that. And I just wanted to frighten the Scotsman because I know when he gets back to London, he'll be out there prosecuting and persecuting black people in the name of the Labour Party and socialist politics, and I'm not having it. But up there in Toronto and Columbia, what's that place out there? British Columbia? Yeah, that's Scotland. And you know what they've done with the natives up there? They exterminated them all, you know? Yeah. And they'll exterminate the blacks in London, too, or England, if they can get a chance to, under new Labour Party politics. I really don't think black people here have grown to any great extent. Black people are not controlling anything in this country. Nothing. And I just picked it up within 24 hours.
You coming out?
Okay. You got the book in there. How you doing? Don't forget the book. That book's... Hey, how you doing? Not too bad, not too bad. Jesus Christ. How you doing, buddy? I found David. This is Cordell. Yeah. Cordell Isaac. Oh, God damn it. You all right, Kingsley? Hey! Oh, Jesus Christ, Stu.
Hey, how you doing?
Look at that.
No, I say, oh, well, I recognize you're so popular. Not so popular.
Yes, sir. Let me tell you something. If I didn't have to go down to the park,
I'm just smoking.
I'd knock you down right now.
What's up, boy?
Look, I'm going to catch up with them politicians down there. Okay, hey, how you doing? Okay, all right. Hey, how you doing? You guys are making me very emotional right now, you know? Look, I got to go because I'll miss this guy down there.
My daughter's going to be down there.
Hey, how you doing, all right? I'll miss the ready, man.
Oh, that brother?
How you doing, all right?
Brother, hard, man.
I'm going to come in and have a drink with you guys before I go. Hey, I'm Jack reincarnated.
You look like
I'm
sorry, you sound like
okay, you guys coming to the park?
Yeah,
all right. Why are you hanging around here for?
last week.
Where is it? You gotta save your voice for tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Kingsley Tweed, make your way to the stage. Kingsley Tweed, you need to make your way to the stage.
Yes, sir, man.
Long time no see.
I was following his activity every day, reading the newspapers, looking at places where he would be speaking. He's been here since Sunday. He hasn't contacted me yet, so I'll go and see him, but I won't let him know I'm there. And I went to Bernard's Park. I didn't want anyone to see me because I didn't want anybody to push me. I stood in the parking lot for about a half an hour, and then I saw some trees alongside of the park and just watched everything from the trees. My father came on stage.
I've just got a very
He
short
said, I have a story to tell you tonight.
It isn't going to be long, and it isn't going to be complicated.
And I said to myself, I've got a story to tell you too.
Sometimes the burden gets heavy, and the political process sometimes weighs us down. But dip into that future, and the world belongs to you and I. You take your time out there, and you get out there on Thursday, and you vote. And you vote PLP.
I felt as though everything that was happening didn't really feel like it was real. I drove to John Smith's Bay after I left the park, and I just sat there in the dark, just staring out in the water. It was so much for me to absorb, and my emotions were all over the place, so I just sat until I, got myself together, and I just went home.
And I count you as one of the most important people in my life. And if Errol was here, he would tell you.
Jennifer knows him.
Yeah, Jennifer knows him well. Yeah. Yeah, I told her, tell your daddy keep that guy and he's by out of his house. Get him in the head with your walking stick, You see, Leslie, I learned so much from him. He had a carpenter shop just on his father's land. And he built it himself, and we worked there for ages, years and years and years. That's Errol there.
How you doing?
Funeral director.
Hi, how are you?
Listen, I sent him down for my beef pies.
Oh.
Have a little sniff.
You get it?
Yeah, have a little sniff.
What that?
The beef pies.
I wish I knew you were going down there.
Well, look, I tell you what, that's what this is for. Yeah, these are for you.
I got
them. Yeah, they're both for you. That's a lie. I bought them for me. But I decided to say that they're for you, and they're nice and hot, too.
But I keep them here,
Yeah, look, here. Hold them. They're nice and hot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he used to send me to buy these beef pies every day. I mean, oxkin.
Oh, yeah.
I used to make a lot of money off them until the price went up by a threepence.
You married a girl here, didn't you?
Yeah, Marlene.
From Otterbridge?
No, Marlene Enos.
Amos?
Enos, E-N-O-S, yeah, E-N-O-S. She lived down Bayless Bay.
Oh.
And then I had one little girl while I was here.
Yeah.
The other one was born after I went away.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't, to be quite, not to put too fine a point on it, I haven't met either of them just yet. It's some considerable difficulty.
Yeah.
And I honestly can say it's not of my making,
Right.
But these things take a wee bit of time to resolve. They better hurry up, because when you get 70, 71, you have to try and bury all your devils and put them behind you. So I'm hoping that'll be resolved. And so this is where it began. This is where it happened. Whoever organized it, whatever group, we were all out here. Maybe some people were hiding, I don't know. But I know I wasn't hiding. I was out here on Saturday afternoon. I can remember Bishop Fabler, Holy Fabler, the holy brother. Brother used to do the holy dance every time you saw him. He'd say, "Hey, brother, praise the Lord," and he would do a little dance, holy Fabler. And he came up there, came around the corner. I had all these placards hanging over me, and he came up and he said, Hey, Brother Tweed, how you doing? Not too bad. Okay, nice to see you. Okay, you're my nephew? Oh, God almighty. What are you, the 55th? Okay, he came up there, took a 5-pound note out of his pocket, left his wife and children in the car, and came across, and he said, "Hallelujah!" And at that moment in time, I knew that everything was all right. There were larger issues as taking control of Bermuda. That, in my mind at least, that's what a coup d'etat, that's what it was about. Some people we knew were not ready for that. And because we knew that, we played to their sensibilities rather than our own. First time I came to the public notice, because I wouldn't want anyone to think that I am so dishonest and discourteous that I want to hide things from you. I went to prison in this country in 1956, April the 14th, on the allegation that I purportedly stole 150 pounds. Well, let me tell you, I did no such thing. That was the first time I came to the notice. I had no previous convictions, no problems with the police in this country. But they gave me a year in prison, innocently. It was a terrible day in my life. And I thought I would never, ever be able to overcome that. So when you go home tonight and you tell your mother and your father that we had Kingsley Tweed down there, and they say, oh yeah, that was the guy that stole 150 pounds, you tell them that I told you it was a lie. And every night when I go home and kneel down by my bed and take my couple of bucks out of my pocket, I count it, and I've been doing it for 45 years. I'm looking for that 150 pounds. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. Yeah, we worked in this church from I was 5 years old. I started coming Sunday school here, and I cared for Reverend Johnson when the rest of Hurd's Chapel thought that, well, I can't go in that house, but I went in there, and I hope George Hayward is still alive across there. Yeah, George, well, you ask him who bathed Reverend Johnson the morning we took him to the hospital. Because it was George and I who lifted that poor old man up like that, and we cut his toenails and wiped his behind, and George, I don't know, I said, I can do it, because it's my father, you know? Really, an incredible piece of man. He built this building. I made these pews. Ed Simons and I. That's right, he's dead and gone now. And there isn't a plaque in here about it either, you know. And these people need to know their history, man. You know? Wowee. Isn't that something? Where's shit? Over there? Hello. Hello. How are you? Hello, mother. How are you? Good. Hello. Hello. I just want to give you these. It's a token of my love and my appreciation for you for all those sweet years.
Thank you. Thank
I must
you.
love you.
Thank you.
This is one moment I've been waiting for. I said to him when he came to, I hope you've told this dear lady, you know, the first thing I asked him about was Sister Venona Jennings. I understand she's back in Bermuda. And when I get to Bermuda, one of the first people I want to go and visit, Sister Venona.
Do you remember, what's the name? How we went and prayed? Do you remember this man came into the restaurant?
I've never forgotten.
And was going to do away with himself.
And you brought him up Hurd's Chapel?
And I brought him up Hurd Chapel. And you came in, you know, and we had prayers around the altar.
That day, God was really working. Through you, actually. He came looking for you.
Oh.
In 1989.
Yes, that's when the war was
That's
on.
right, and you were gone, you know?
Yeah.
But it was scary up in Liberia. And I feel so bad that the people haven't really mended their ways since '89. I thought the taste of blood would have been.
I'm sorry you didn't get up in the bush to sing.
Yeah, but you were gone. You were gone by that time in '89.
No, I stayed there in that war.
Well, you stayed in
I
the
stayed
first
right
year.
through that 2 wars, turning back to up there in Bapola, where my station was. It just got on my nerves.
Yeah.
Yes. And the shooting was going all around my compound, you know, and the people were running to me like I could save them. And I told them in the same predicament they're in, you know. And they were all around me underneath my table, and I just got a nervous breakdown.
I saw all the churches had bullet holes and the windows were shot out.
They say their mission is nothing but bullet holes.
In the sight of God and in this building, I am determined to go back out there, and if we have to rebuild those rooms with worn-out tools, you know, and put your name up there, I tell you, if God gives me strength and long life, I'm going to be out there just as soon as those rebels, those fools, those people, you know, we used to say in Bermuda who don't have no count of their lives, I'm going back out there. Yeah, I want to see that. That's a promise, I tell you. And he'll hold you so tightly, 'cause my God never fails. Kingsley, as if you didn't know. And there's only one Kingsley, now henceforth and forever. Well, I knew that before I returned back to Bermuda that they were going to crucify me because the Bermuda government, the people who ran Bermuda, was not quite finished with me. And so I'm perhaps guilty of having been spied upon. I hold my hands up. I feel no shame because there was something wrong in Bermuda that I wanted to simply put right. It wasn't about bloodshed of anybody's blood. I'm still not about bloodshed. All I wanted to do was to take some people into the mighty cathedral up there. People in government, people who own the banks, people who own the telephones and the newspapers, and people who monopolized every aspect of business and economic activity in Bermuda. We simply wanted to take them into the cathedral, tie them up tightly, give them bread and water, and every third day, a hot meal. It wasn't about vengeance. It was simply putting some people in their places who got too big for their bloody boots. You know, Errol, you didn't listen to me, brother.
I didn't know that.
No,
yeah.
you didn't listen to me.
All right.
Sorry, but you didn't listen to me.
Yeah.
You just didn't listen. You think you, man. It's my emotions that's on the line here. I know how to deal with that. And I know how to deal with that in relationship to the press. And even Miss Pamplin Gordon. It's just unfortunate. I could even understand her.